Hello and welcome. I am davidinark. Today I'm going to show you guys, let me fire this up real quick. There we go. I've had several folks ask me, how do you record the games on your channel? How do you, I don't need headphones for this part yet. How do you record the video games that you post on YouTube? And so I thought it would be kind of cool to go ahead and show you guys how I do what I do. Now, I had to turn on my camera because to me, and this is like huge, let me try this. There we go. The camera's going to come and go. I'll let you know that right now because I'm actually using my my game capture software to capture the video camera because things get a little weird all in here when I'm trying to show you what I'm recording while I'm recording. The computer's like, you want to do what? What? Are you crazy, man? All right, so just bear with me. But the first thing I want to show you is something that I have not actually used much, and this is called Open Broadcaster, which Open Broadcaster is this big window. It's currently like showing itself and itself and itself, and like infinitely, in. But anyhow, this is Open Broadcaster software is what some YouTubers use when they are streaming their content out to the world. I'm actually using it just to record the overall screen because my capture software won't let me capture itself, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does or not, but there you go. So we will play with this. Now, I use software called Bandicam, and there is a free version, but it has a watermark on there. So I bought Bandicam. In fact, they had some kind of a 2-for-1 deal where I could buy Bandicam, and it has a sister product called Bandicut, and we'll look at that later for editing videos. I was able to buy the 2 of those programs together for a discount, and that was bundled with another pair of them, right? So I got 2 Bandicams and 2 Bandicuts for basically the price of one package. And then with the second set, I gave those to my son and let him use that for recording software, recording his games. So I use Bandicam for capturing. All right, now I'm going to have to stop the camera. I'm still going to be recording, obviously, but I have to stop the camera because I'm going to talk more about how Bandicam works. All right, so right now I'm in the webcam mode. All right, if I close this, there are other modes in Bandicam. I can record the game itself. I can record a screen capture, which we'll take a look at that. And then again, I could separately record the camera if I want. All right, so if I go into, let's just say BeamNG. All right, BeamNG is launching up, and I tell it to launch the game. And when I'm recording, what I do is I get the game fired up, and if I'm not showing the actual interface, right? Let's say we're going to do some I don't know, car jump arena. I actually like to get into the game before I, let's do some ski jumping. What do you think? Nah, we'll do car jump. Who cares? Who cares? It's a demo. What am I doing? All right. I like to actually get the game loaded before I start recording, just because depending on the map, especially like Utah or any other really large map, it takes a long time for the map to load up, and there's no point in recording all of that I'm going to have to cut and throw away anyhow. All right, so here we are inside in this case, the car jump arena. So let me talk about Bandicam. Again, there are 2 modes that you can record. One is the actual game recording mode. So you'll notice that when I clicked inside this window, now this shows that it's going to be recording BeamNG.Drive at 1280 by 720. And it's going to capture the whole game and anything else going on in the game. So for example, if at this point I hit the hotkey, and I've got a hotkey assigned to my webcam inside Bandicam, so that if I have the webcam overlay turned on, it's going to bring up that camera. Now, I can go into the settings and I can change where that camera appears, right? I can do one of 9 positions. All right, now, I usually keep it in the upper left corner. I don't know why. It's just the position that I must have picked when I first started, and I just left it there. In fact, that may be the default that it comes with. I don't know. The overlay size, that's how big that video window is. I usually keep it at about 20%, but recently I recorded another episode of, what's that called? Little Alchemy. And there's a lot of white space in Little Alchemy. So I've been playing with just how big to make myself inside that game. Frankly, there's so much white space, I could probably make I could probably make that window probably 30% or bigger. I mean, it's huge. Heck, I might even be able to do 50%, but you don't want to see me that big. So anyway, so here we have the position. I'm just going to cancel out of that and just leave it the way it is. All right. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. When I hit my hotkey, camera comes on, and here I take a moment. Usually what I'll do is I do a 1 or 2 or 3 count, somewhere in there. I take a moment to prepare, and that's also my visual cue for when I edit out this kind of, intro stuff. So basically it would be something like this. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to BeamNG.Drive. I'm your host, davidinark, and today we are playing on the car jump arena. All right, so what you can see now is you see the camera in the game and you see the game. And there's nothing wrong with recording in this mode, except if the game crashes, then you lose everything that you had been recording up to that point, because Bandicam doesn't know what to do in the case of an emergency. It just absolutely bails out, and you end up with corrupted video. In some cases, you could recover the video, but in my experience, it gets all wacky. In fact, I think I've even done a video or two where I showed the fact that it crashed, and here's what I was able to recover. So I don't particularly like the full game recording mode, but sometimes you have to. For example, if I'm playing a game and it's a full screen game, the only way I'm going to record that is through this full screen mode, because there's not a window to capture. It's already full screen. But so that's when I have to use the game recording mode, is if it's a full screen game, or if for some reason I want to see myself on the screen as I'm recording. All right, and I'll explain that right now. So when I'm done recording, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I hit my hotkey again and it stops recording. So you notice that my Bandicam time quit, and all of my recording stuff disappeared, so I'm no longer recording this game. All right. What I normally do to record is I bring up this, what they call screen recording mode, and you'll notice that that brings up this window, and it's 1280 by 720, so 720p. And the reason it's 720p is because my monitor, the monitor I currently have, doesn't support 1080p, and I'm not so sure my computer wouldn't wig the freak out if I tried to do 1080p anyway. But anyhow, so I try to record most things in 720p. All right. So I've got this set up. I've not started recording yet. Notice that when this came up, and let me switch off. Okay, right? So here's BeamNG, which I know it's got a blue window around it. But watch what happens when I add this overlay. Notice that the overlay has this black bar, and then it also has a blue border around it. That's key, because when I hit my hotkey to start recording, it starts recording. Now, what you don't know necessarily, what you can't see, I guess, notice that my overlay, my video overlay for my webcam is not visible here. And that's the way this mode works, unless there's some setting that I'm missing, which that could be. So instead, I get this little preview right here that shows that my camera's working and that that's what I see on camera. Notice that now this red border, this border is now red, telling me that it's recording. Plus, it says recording and it's counting up the time. So at this point, again, I would do kind of a 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to BeamNG.Drive. I'm your host, davidinark, and today we are going to take a look at, get my mouse out of the way, we're going to look at Car Jump Arena. All right, so then once again, I'm recording, I'm playing the video, but as you can see, because you see what I see, my video, my inlaid video, is not on the screen. So you probably have noticed in some of my games, that's one of the things I talk about. I'm like, oh, my video is in the way. Well, if I can't see, if I'm recording in this mode, I can actually see the full screen. But if I'm recording in the game mode, then that part is blocked. And sometimes I have to stop the recording and move the camera, or I just fight it and call it good anyway. So that's why there are certain games that when I play, I know what's going on in the corner, and you may not, because it's blocked for you because you see the final product. It's not blocked for me because I'm watching it in this mode that you see here. So again, I record and we drive around and do whatever. I was hoping to get a high-speed roll out of this. I don't know about high speed, and it's not really a roll, more like a flip. But anyway, when I get done, then of course, I do my outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. And then I hit my hotkey and boom. That stops recording the video, right? See the blue, the border turned blue again. It's no longer counting up. So anything that's happening right now is not being recorded for my final video. It's being recorded now just because OBS is recording that. So clear as mud. Absolutely. When I get done with a video, I close the recording window and then I close out of the game. Generally speaking, I edit my videos. Let me get my camera back up here. There we go. Generally speaking, I edit my videos right after I'm done recording them because I don't have the luxury of time. As I've mentioned several times, I don't do YouTube full-time. I have a full-time job. I work 40-plus hours a week, and then I spend time with the family, and when we do, whatever sporting events, or we're hanging out, or whatever, and then pretty much after everybody goes to bed, or as they're going to bed, that's when I come in and I record my videos. So I don't have the luxury of time to record a bunch of videos and then go back and edit them. I edit them right then and get them finalized before I go to bed, because my internet is so slow that I have to get those finished and start uploading overnight, because it takes all night and sometimes all night and the next day to get some of my videos posted. So it's a little crazy, but that's the way it is. All right, so I finished recording and I get out of Bandicam, and well, that was stupid because Bandicam is recording. Okay. Normally I get out of Bandicam, but since Bandicam is doing my webcam, that's the life of davidinark. All right, so normally I quit Bandicam, all right, and I fire up Bandicut. Now, Bandicut, I'm going to try this. I've never done this before. First time for everything, right? Okay. Bandicut, again, is made by the same people who make Bandicam. It is purchased separately, but it has two parts to it. It has a cutter and a joiner, and this is a very basic, rudimentary video editor. Literally, that's what this does. The one side cuts videos into pieces and parts, and then creates a final video out of those cut up pieces. Joiner takes videos and puts them together into one big video. That's what it does. So I go into the cutter, and I will go into where I saved my video, which the one that, let's see, well, I'm actually going to have a couple of them in here, because I recorded in two different ways. So you notice that Bandicam, by default, when it saves things with the time and date stamp. So I don't know. So I'll bring in a video, and then now here I have to put my headphones on because I've got to be able to edit, and I have no idea if you guys can hear what is actually going on in the video. So I'll have to check that out. But it starts recording. Now, what you so here is the this is the video that I recorded. What you can't see, I guess. Notice that overlay, my video overlay for my webcam is not visible here. Okay, so remember, when I was recording in window mode, so that's what this is from window mode. When I was recording in window mode, you did not see the overlay because I didn't see the overlay, right? When I'm in window mode, I recording the game, as I'm recording the game, I don't see the overlay, but the final product has the overlay put in it, right? Just like if I, or the opposite effect is if I come in here and why are these are sorted weird. Sort by date, there. That's so weird. I don't know what, okay. Now now I feel much better. Okay. Okay, I had to do some weird stuff. Things went a little weird. All right, but the in-game footage that I have recorded is saved out to these files here. And so what I do is you'll notice that when Bandicam records the screens, the games, if you're recording the actual game, right? That's this game mode up here. The file name will actually be the name of the game. If you're recording just the screen, the window, then it's called Bandicam with a time and date. All right, so let me show you here. I'm going to open this up, and now remember, I already been doing some talking, and that's what we had seen earlier on the screen. So here, camera comes on, and here I take a moment. Usually, what I'll do is I do a 1 or 2. Okay, so this is the mode where I was recording the game itself, and I can see this overlay in the game as I'm recording. Right? Okay, so what I do with Bandicut is I'll come in here, 2 or 3 count, somewhere in there. I watch take a moment here, okay, to prepare, and that's also my visual cue for when I edit out this kind of, intro stuff. So basically, so here, like this. 3, 2, 1. All right, so I did the countdown, and here is where I use Bandicut to set my start and end points for each of the segments that are going to make up the bigger, each of the segments that are going to make the final version of this piece of video. So I set the segment here, and that means that this is where it's actually going to start. Hello, and welcome to BeamNG.Drive. So then, I'll either just kind of scrub through the video, or I will watch the video if I need to. I'm listening for different things that maybe I don't know, maybe I sneezed somewhere, or I coughed somewhere, or somebody walked behind me. Where am I? Somebody walked behind me in the video, and I need to cut that out. So I can scrub through here, I can find those things, and then I try to find a place that makes sense in terms of either audio or video to cut that scene. So if the game crashes, then you lose everything that you had been recording up to that point, because Bandicam doesn't know what to do in the case of an emergency. All right. So let's just say that I want that to be a segment. So then I add that to my project. And then from here, let's just say that I want to skip all of this stuff, and I want to pick up again where I reset the vehicle. So I'm going to scrub through and find that. So I'll hit cover the video, but in my experience, it gets all wacky. In fact, I think I've even done a video or two where I showed the fact that it crashed, and here's what I was able to recover. So I don't particularly like, all right, so I'm just watching this full game recording to figure out where, but sometimes you have to. For example, if I'm okay, so this one I get very long-winded. So playing a game and it's a full screen game. So just for the sake of argument, let's say that I don't want any of that middle stuff. I'm going to start right here. The only way I'm going to record that is through this full screen mode. Okay, so I have this, and maybe let's see what's down here. If for some reason I want to see myself on the screen as I'm recording. All right. Okay. So for the sake of argument, boom. These are the only 2 segments out of that whole video that I made. These are the only 2 parts that I actually want to save. So after I've edited the video, I make sure that I have merged segments, because I'm taking these pieces and parts, and I'm making one video out of these pieces and parts. Now, I could not check this, and it will save each segment out separately, and then I could use the joiner to pull those together. But if I already know this is the order I want them in, why go through all those steps, right? So here I go with this. I've got these two pieces, and when I hit start, it's going to ask me for a name. So I'm just going to say it's BeamNG 01. I'll just call it BeamNG 01. All right. And Bandicut on the cutter side has a high-speed mode, which basically says you're using a video that was cut with Bandicut, and the program knows what to do to put the pieces together, and it's very, very quick. The encoding mode down below is where it actually has to take frame by frame and encode everything, and it's slower. You can also, but with encoding mode, you can change settings in terms of the codec that you're using, what the sound is, that kind of thing. I will tell you from my experience, encoding mode breaks the program. Anytime I've tried to, or if I come in here and I try to change these settings, it breaks. So I leave it MP4 with H.264 and AAC, and I just call it good because I don't know. So anyway, and again, I merge all my segments. If I want to, I could extract the audio out as its own MP3. That is handy if you're going to put it into a more advanced editor, which if you're going to do that, why are you even using this in the first place? But anyway, or if for some reason you just want the audio track pulled out as a separate audio podcast, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the application for that. So I tell it to start, it goes through, and as you can see, that was a short video. So it tells me how long that video is, how long it took to splice those pieces together, and then what the file size is and where it went. Now, normally I have this open the output folder when it's done, just because I like to have the window pop up and I see the file. I'm kind of OCD or whatever you want to call about that. I want to make sure that it did what it said it was going to do. All right, but when you close this complete window, it actually takes you back into the Bandicut program. So now I could open up a new video or a secondary video and edit that. Now this particular video is the one where when we recorded it, we did not see the overlay because we were recording the window. All right, but this is the final video that Bandicam puts together, putting that overlay into the video. It starts recording. See, there you go. Now, what you don't know necessarily, what you can't see, I guess, notice that my overlay, my video overlay for my webcam is not visible here, right? So as I was explaining this to you through OBS, through recording my entire screen, remember, we did not see this overlay when I was recording BeamNG. Again, I can back this up if I want to. Up to a certain point, overlay for my webcam is not to figure out, okay, where do I actually want to start this recording? What you don't know necessarily, what you can't see, I guess. All right, so I don't want all that. I'm going to cut that part out, and I'm going to have it start here. Notice that my overlay, again, I can scrub through this, and I'm showing you camera's working, and those parts what I see on camera. And again, if that's where I want to stop this segment, I set an end point, and I tell it, okay, that's the segment, and now let's continue here. Notice that I'm going to find a new starting point. So let's just, I don't know, let's go down here. I don't know what I'm doing. BeamNG.Drive. I'm your host. Okay, so let me back up to that. 2, 1. All right, so that was the countdown. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to set a start point. Hello and welcome to BeamNG.Drive. All right, so there was a start point. I come back out here. I'm still talking to you. So you probably have noticed in some of my games, that's one of the things I talk about. I'm like, oh, my video is in the way. All right, so again, I'm going to cut that, and we add that into the video, and then I'm randomly picking stuff. Normally, I'm much more picky about it, but that's okay. It's not blocked for me because I'm watching it. Okay, actually, I want to come back. Not blocked for me. Oh, we're getting there. Let me back up a little bit more. In the corner. Let me start here. And you may not because it's blocked for you because you see the final product.
Okay, so this is the final
It's
product.
not blocked for me because I'm watching it in this mode that you see here.
Okay, so for the sake of argument, let's say that I want the rest of this video. It's all good. I'm good with that. So you'll notice that I have this segment, I've got this segment, and then I've got this final segment. Again, I'm cutting, but I want all of this to be one continuous video. So I merge segments, I hit start. Now this one I'm actually going to call BeamNG. What did I call the other one? Crud, I don't remember. Well, I'm going to call this, in fact, let me do this. Let me call this part 2. I wasn't paying attention to what I called the other one, so that's okay. We'll just hit start. Again, it's going through the process. The whole thing is 1 minute and 23 seconds. So, I mean, it happens so fast. But you notice that because I had that box checked this time, that it opened up the final product here so that I could see exactly where that was. All right, so I can close that again. Again, here's the complete thing. I can close that. It opens up Bandicut. And so at this point, I have 2 distinct videos that I would like to put together as one video, and that is called joining. So at the top here, I can click joining. You can open files here, and you can do the multi-select. Frankly, I like to click the little plus down here in the timeline, and normally it opens the window. I don't know what. When I save edited videos out of Bandicut, it goes into a Bandicut folder. So here's my Bandicut folder. I also prefer details because I like to see when things were done. So here we go. So here's part 1. Here is part 2. And joiner is just that. It's taking the 2 videos and smacking them together and saying, okay, we're going to join this. It's good. We hit start. You'll notice. And so one of the things that I do here is, let me just say that I call this arena, I don't know, final. All right. And I like to call it final because that way I know this is the one where all the pieces are together. You will notice that this does not have a high-speed mode, and I have yet to figure that out. I mean, these 2 videos were both saved off through Bandicut Cutter. Why can't it do high-speed mode? It's its own program. I don't know. Whatever. So when you're joining, you have to do encoding mode, and it is slow and a pain in the butt. Again, encoding settings for joiner, MP4, H.264, AAC. I have tried playing with these settings before, and the program will crash, the video will bomb out. I don't know. I have no idea. Probably tells me I need a different program, but this was cheap, and for the most part, if I leave it alone, it does what I needed to do. All right. So start. Again, it's encoding those 2 videos together. The whole video is going to be all of 2 minutes and 20 seconds in this case. You'll notice it tells me how much time it's taking, how much time is remaining. It also gives me an estimate as to how big the file is going to be, where it's going to be, and then what to do after it's done. This latest version of Bandicut actually has an option to upload directly to YouTube. I've not played with that, so I don't know what that looks like. I prefer to go out to YouTube and do it the old-fashioned way, where you go to the upload button and drag the video in and just upload the video. So there you go. Now, all right, so here is the arena final video. So let me just show this.
Hello and welcome to
BeamNG.Drive.
I'm your host, David.Nark, and today we are playing on the car jump.
Now, I have no idea how that affects the overall recording, but okay.
What you can see now is you see the camera in the game.
Now, I can't remember.
The game. And there's nothing wrong.
I can't remember where I
except if the game
made the video cut.
Then you lose
all right.
Everything.
But anyhow, at some point in here, I cut.
It's the only cam doesn't know what
to do. It must be right in here.
In the case of emergency, the only
there you go.
way I'm going to record that is
right. So if you remember, I stopped after emergency, and then I started a new segment later, and here it just looked like a jump cut. All right, so there you go. So that way I know that, once I look through this, and I try to watch all of my final videos. I don't always watch them all. I should, I know, but again, I don't have the time for that. So once I've got it edited and put together, I pretty much dump it up onto YouTube. And so that is the final video right there, and then I would put that up on YouTube. So I hope that kind of gives you an idea as to how I record games in YouTube, not in YouTube, how I record games on my computer to post to YouTube. Now, one of the things I didn't show, I showed like BeamNG, or if you had, I don't know if I was doing GTA or whatever, that makes perfect sense. But let's say for the sake of argument that I'm doing, that I want to record, say, like Little Alchemy. All right, or just any web page. What I do with web pages is I set the screen, this window. Well, I set the window capture mode. Now my camera disappeared because it switched from this camera here to the window mode, but don't worry about that. So I set the window mode right. Remember, I like to record everything at 1280 by 720. So then I come up here and I just make the window match my screen size. Now, it happened to actually match, but usually that's not the case. So for the sake of argument, let's just stretch this out, right? So I line up the web page window, right, the browser window with the blue bar, right? So now when I hit record, it's going to record. So if I hit my hotkey, it's now recording this video screen, and it has the video overlay up in the corner. You can't see that because you're seeing what I see, but here's the video camera up here, so you see that that's what's there. All right, and then I can stop that and tell it to quit. And so that's how I record web pages, is I actually make the browser fit the screen size that I want to record. All right, so there you go. And I'm going to close out of that. Let me pull my camera back up here. All right, so there you go. I'm using the open broadcast, whatever that's called. I don't know, open broadcaster. And that's what allowed me to record everything to show you how I use Bandicam. And I'm pointing over here because that's where it is, but I think everything is like backwards, so it's actually over there. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I see. See, now I got it. Oh, I'm glad you guys enjoy this. All right. Speaking of, if you like this video, I hope it helps some. But if you like it, hit the like button if you would. Feel free to leave any questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories down in the comment section down below. I apologize if this got a little rambly. And actually what you will see is you will actually see the final edited version with all of this stuff in it. So I don't know what this is going to be like. Have you ever seen Spaceballs where they watch the movie while they're there? I think there's going to be a lot of that going on. I don't know. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.